We're now more than 3 years into Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, and while the battlefields still stretch from Donbass to Kharkiv, the most profound theatre of war may be the one fought in silence, the space between Ukraine's courage and the West's caution. And what we're witnessing, therefore, is the quiet betrayal of a nation, not just by Trump and by the outrageous stuff said in the White House, but a betrayal not so much in words, for the West still offers platitudes about sovereignty and democracy for the most part, but in deeds, or the tragic absence of deeds. In the fields near Kharkiv, young men, there was an article the other day about a young man called Luntik, training under the mild spring skies, their purpose forged in pain. He lost his brother near Bakhmut, yet he says simply, when the thief comes into your house, you kill the thief. This is not bravado, it's the cold philosophy of survival. Ukraine's new incentive scheme offering 1 million, whatever the currency is in Ukraine, to a 0% mortgage, for a 1 year tour of duty, aims to repopulate the shrinking front line, but enthusiasm is thinning, and despite any early interest from over 10,000 young men, fewer than 500 have actually signed up. These aren't cowards. They're children of war, raised under the shadow of Russian aggression since 2014, and rational enough to see the cost. It's very similar to the to the blunt reality that Kemal Mustafa Ataturk put forward during the Gallipoli campaign. I don't expect you to fight, I expect you to die. Vladimir, another recruit, joined to answer his children's hypothetical question, what did you do during the war? He was a DJ, now he's in the infantry. This is Ukraine's human transition from cultural freedom to trench warfare. Meanwhile, what are the United States? With remarkable timing, just as the new mineral deal is signed, aid appears to trickle away. But let's not be naive. Trump had previously demanded Ukraine pay billions for assistance, rhetoric that made the Marshall Plan look like a payday loan. Certainly, Zelensky has brokered an impressive balanced agreement, 50-50 investment in Ukraine's post-war future, no debt, no exclusive rights to subsoil, no interference in EU integration. It's a masterstroke. But let's also recognize it for what it is, a leash of interest, not solidarity. The US is now invested in Ukraine's minerals, factories, and legal structures, not simply as liberty. This is transactional global politics disguised as moral clarity. And as we approach May the 9th, Russia's Victory Day, the victory in the patriotic war, what Russia calls World War II, Putin has unilaterally declared another ceasefire from midnight on May the 8th to midnight on May the 11th. He wants silence, not to save lives, but to save face. Why? Because President Xi and 38 world leaders are attending his parade, because drones over Moscow have become the new normal, because the illusion of stability must be broadcast for 72 uninterrupted hours, and Ukraine will not and should not honour this charade. Ceasefires are not decrees, they are agreements, and Russia has broken every one. Whether at Christmas, Easter or May the 9th, it has used these pauses not for peace but for propaganda. And Russia is regrouping, new troops, new mercenaries, new tactics, and still the same moral rot. Russia has lost hundreds of thousands of lives and advanced little. The Dnipro holds, Kyiv stands, and yet Ukraine bleeds alone. Even the West's attention is transactional. 1 week Trump praises Zelensky, the next he dithers, driven more by mood than strategy. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz was sacked after 101 days. General Kellogg, now re-empowered, says Russia is not winning because Trump allows him to say so. And as sanctions fluctuate with Washington's political weather, Ukraine continues to fight for its existence, often waiting for Congress to rediscover its spine. Ukraine is not a client state. It's a pawn. Actually, it shouldn't be a pawn. It should be recognized as a sovereign nation resisting annihilation. And the bravery of its young recruits, men like Luntik and Vladimir, is matched only by the staggering inconsistency of its allies. And as the world watches Putin parade his fear and Trump toggles between apathy and opportunism, Ukraine remains defiant and must remain defiant. And so, with clarity and conviction, one should say, glory to Ukraine, glory to the heroes. But let's not demand eternal bravery from a people unless we're willing to match their sacrifice with our support. Let history not record that when democracy called, we hesitated. We need to stand by Ukraine. What Ukraine is facing today is the scourge of evil. It doesn't matter how we dress it up. That's what it is.